talking now about Life and Revelations of Anne Catherine Emmerich. This is her fourth revelation, or fourth page. I'm going to discuss the prophecies that she was given to by Jesus and Mary. You can, again, obtain her books, The Life and Revelations of Anne Catherine Emmerich, from Tam Books, Books A Million, Amazon.com, or Barnes & Noble, or any of those bookstores that you can order from. And then you can be up to date with what I'm reading here as well. This is section 4 of Anne Catherine Emmerich's Prophecies on the depths of Purgatory. He reads, I cannot say exactly where Purgatory lies, but when going there, I generally journey northward a while leaving the earth by a gloomy, difficult road of water, snow, briars, swamp, etc. I descend by dark aerial paths, as if far under the earth, to dismal places of different degrees of cold, fog, and obscurity. I go around among souls in higher and lower positions of more or less difficult access. Last night I went among them all, consoling them and receiving their commissions for various labors. I had to say right off the litany of the saints and the 7 penitential psalms. My guide warned me to guard carefully against impatience, and to offer every vexation for the poor souls. The other morning I almost forgot his admonition. It was on the point of yielding to impatience, but I repressed it, and I am very glad I did so. I thank my good angel for helping me. No words can say what immense consolation the poor souls receive from a little sacrifice, a trifling little self-victory. The second revelation is given on November 2nd, 1821. For 14 days, Sister Emmerich had been constantly occupied with the poor souls, offering for them prayers, mortifications, alms, and spiritual labors, and arranging numerous things to be given away on the Feast of All Souls Day, November 2nd. She related the following. I went again with the saints to Purgatory. The prisons of the souls are not all in the same place. They are far apart and very different. The road to them often lies over icebergs, snow, and clouds. Sometimes it winds all around the earth. The saints float lightly by me on luminous clouds of various colors, according to the different kinds of help and consolation or good works entitled them to. I had to travel painful, rugged paths, pray the while, and offering it all for the souls. I reminded the saints of their own sufferings, and offered them to God in union with the merits of Jesus Christ with the same intention. The both of the souls differed according to each one's state. If they all struck me as being round like globes, I can compare them only to those places which I call gardens, and in which I see certain graces preserved like fruits. So too are the sojourns of the souls like gardens, storehouses, worlds full of disagreeable things, privations, torments, miseries, anguish, etc., etc. And some are much smaller than others. When I arrive, I can clearly distinguish a round form and perhaps a ray of light falling on some point, or twilight on the horizon. Some are a little better than others, but in none can the blue sky be seen. All are more or less dark and obscure. In some the souls are nearer one another and in great agony. Some are deeper down, and others higher and clearer. The places in which the souls are separately confined are also of various forms. For instance, some are shaped like ovens. They who are united on earth are together in Purgatory only when they have need of the same degree of purification. In some places the light is colored, that is, fiery, or of a dull red. There are other abodes in which evil spirits persecute, frighten, and torment the souls, and these are the most horrible. One would take them for hell, did not the inexpressibly touching patience of the souls proclaim the contrary. Words cannot describe their consolation and joy when one among them is delivered. There are also places of penitential works, as those in which I once saw them raising and storming ramparts, women on the islands cultivating the fruits which were taken away on rafts, etc. These souls are in a less suffering state. They can do something for others worse off than themselves. It may be symbolical, but is symbolical of truth. The vegetation is scanty and stunted, the fruit the same, yet they afford relief to those still more needy. Kings and princesses are often thrown with those whom they once oppressed, and whom they now serve in humble suffering. He goes on to say, I have seen Purgatory, the Protestants who were pious in their ignorance. They are very desolate, for no prayers are offered for them. Their fifth revelation says, I saw souls passing from the lower to a higher grade to fill up the vacancies left by some who had finished their purgation. Some can go around giving and receiving consolation. It is a great grace to be able to appear and beg help and prayers. I have also seen the places in which some souls canonized on earth were purified by their sanctity and had not reached its perfection in their lifetime. I went to many priests and churches and ordered masses and devotions for the souls. The sixth revelation. I was at Rome in St. Peter's, near noble ecclesiastics, cardinals, I think, who had to say 7 masses for certain souls. I know not why they had omitted doing so. Whilst they were being said, I saw the neglected souls, dark and sad, gathered around the altar. They exclaimed, as if hungry, I have not been fed for so long. I think it was the foundation of masses that had been neglected. The confiscation of foundations for masses for the dead is, as I see, unspeakable cruelty, and a theft committed against the poorest of the poor. On my route I saw few, if any, of the living, but I met souls, angels, saints. I saw many of the effects of prayer. During these days I have had to drag to the confessional and church many people who otherwise would never have gone. On November 2nd, 1822, she reads, Last night I had much to do in Purgatory. I went northward, as it seemed, around the pole of the globe. I saw the icebergs above me, and yet Purgatory does not appear to be at the center, for I can see the moon. In going around among the prisons, I tried to make an opening, that a little light might enter. The outside looks like a shiny black wall, in the form of a crescent. Inside are innumerable chambers and passages, high and low, ascending and descending. Near the entrance it is not so bad. The souls are free to move around, for further on they appear more strictly imprisoned. Here lies one stretched out, as it were in a hole, a ditch. Their cells are together in different positions, higher and lower. Sometimes one is seen seated on high, as if on a rock. The further we penetrate, the more frightful it becomes, for demons exercise their power. It is a temporary hell in which souls are tormented by horrible specters and hideous forms that wander around persecuting and terrifying their victims. Again, these are taken from The Life and Revelations of Anne Catherine Emmerich by Carl E. Smoker. They were transcribed by Clement Bertrano, her author, and published by Tan Books, TANBOOKS.com. You can obtain them again from Tan Books, Amazon, or any other locations, including Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and any other bookstore. That was the end of Revelations from Anne Catherine Emmerich, Section 4. Thank you.